Hey guys, so today I was going to do something a little bit different and do a voiceover for some Star Wars Battlefront gameplay because I've got some very exciting things to talk about, and that is the new Star Wars Battlefront being created currently by DICE and published by EA. So if you've been keeping up with E3, you've probably seen that they've revealed two new gameplays of both the multiplayer mode and the missions mode for survival. So in the multiplayer mode, they had a new game mode called Walker Assault, which we'll talk about later. And then for the missions mode, which is the solo kind of little bit like instant action version where you can play offline or you can play split screen co-op, that kind of thing. It was just a survival match where you have to survive oncoming hordes of enemies, and we'll talk about that later too. But what I want to do is I kind of want to outline some of the features that it will and will not have specifically. So let's start with the things that it will include. First off, it will include heroes, which is a big thing for a lot of people. They will have several really iconic heroes that a lot of people know about, such as Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader and Boba Fett. Those are the three that they have revealed. They will have, and they said that they would have others, but they have not told us. But of course we can make logical guesses about some of them that they will have. They will have, for just the infantry, they will have energy weapons instead of like ammunition loaded weapons that you see in a lot of FPSs today. So you don't have to collect ammo for these, but they do have a reload time, much like the pistol on the Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I'm playing right now. All the weapons are like that, but of course the weapons are all very different. There's also rocket launchers, which I think may have ammo. I'm not sure whether or not. And and they have machine guns and just pistols that you can use. And it sounds like there is going to be several ways to customize and have different weapons and things like that. In terms of locations, it looks like they will have several iconic Star Wars planets, like Hoth, Tatooine, and Endor, and a new one that hasn't been in any of the movies or the previous Star Wars games, but has been mentioned in the comics, and that is Solust, which is the place for the Empire where they make their vehicles, like the AT-AT, AT-ST, all that kind of thing. And it's a very lava-y dark planet. Actually, the EA team said that they got their inspiration from the landscapes of Iceland. They actually went there and, or it could have been Greenland, I'm not sure, but they went there and actually took photos of the landscape and drew inspiration from it, which is really interesting. I do believe that they have a video on their website if you'd like to see that. But those are the 4 planets they have, and they will have probably 3 to 4 different maps centered around those planets. Like for Hoth, they might have a map around Echo Base and one just maybe out in the open. You can see from the multiplayer, it is Echo. They have Echo Base, but it looks like a lot of the fighting took place in trenches outside. So no one is really sure what we're going to see from that. But it's something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing what DICE is going to do in terms of locations and diversifying the different maps, because these planets are very diverse and there are many different ways that you can use them. So for the multiplayer, they will have multiplayer, like I said. It is only 40 person, so that's 20 people per side, which is a little bit under fire considering the last one had a maximum of 64 person multiplayer, and DICE's other very popular franchise, Battlefield, has 64 person multiplayer. So no one is quite sure why they only have 40 or just 40 person multiplayer. I think most of it is just because of some of the server issues that Battlefield has been having, and it increases stability. And although that they're coming under fire, I don't think that's going to be a big impediment. If you've seen the multiplayer, nothing looks sparse. There are troops everywhere. It is really beautiful. And I think it'll be really great for 40 person, especially for people who might be playing on PCs with slightly lower end graphics cards or processing units, or of course not as good internet as some people, outdated Wi-Fi cards and what have you. So they will DICE has also been working very hard on creating an immersive experience that really puts the Star Wars universe at your fingertips, is kind of what they're saying. They want to make the game almost like you're really there. So they've been working very hard, and I think they've done a great job of really trying to recreate the movies and the comics and everything in the way that you would imagine them. They've used a new technique called photogrammetry. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but it's a way of using photographs of objects to render that in 3D and then also render the textures from there. And they actually got access to the Lucas archives so that they could take pictures and use photogrammetry of the actual props used in the movies, which means what you're seeing is a 3D rendering of exactly what those props looked like in the movies. They also got access to the original sound studio that they used for the Star Wars movies. So all the laser fire and the music and everything is taken directly from the soundtrack, which is really neat. Also, the way that they're trying to style some of the gameplay is making it so like how you would imagine a Star Wars battle, how you saw them in the movies, how you may have even played with your action figures as a kid for the Star Wars. So I'm really excited to see how far that's really going to go, and if it's really going to be an immersive experience, or if it's just going to be DICE's version of Battlefront, and it will feel like a Battlefield skin. So we're just going to have to see what it looks like in the end, but from what I've seen so far, they're doing a very good job. Along with that, they will have iconic vehicles like AT-STs, speeder bikes, and the Millennium Falcon. So it sounds like you will be able to use like hero-style starships as well, something that the previous Battlefront did not have. They only had set ships like the AT-Ts for the droids and things like that. They didn't really have special ships like the Millennium Falcon and things like that. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to play into everything. If you've seen the previous trailer, not the actual gameplay, but the rendered in-engine footage, you do see a very quick shot of the Millennium Falcon. And wow, I bet that just set some people going crazy because they're really trying hard to immersive. So to features that everyone is very glad that they're including from Battlefront and Battlefront 2, they will have split screen, which, if you've noticed, has been very low, has made a very low appearance in modern games. You don't see many modern games with split screen, which is a great thing that they're doing with it. I really like the idea of having split screen, even though I'm going to be playing on PC. If you know, you have a friend over or something and they've got an Xbox One or a PS4, then you can plug in an extra controller and you can do split screen with them. You don't have to take turns or anything, which is really great. It sounds like they're trying to incorporate a really cooperative experience, which is great. They also will have first and third person mode, which is something that's previous Battlefront fans have been very excited about, because most modern shooters don't have a third person mode, and the Battlefield series, of course, didn't have first person mode, so it's very exciting that they're going to be including third person. But I'll probably be playing in first person a lot, since it seems like they specialized it for that. But if you're more very third person-y kind of person, then they still have that for you. So that's a lot of what they do have. Some of the things that the features they haven't included have actually kind of not been so great for advertising. People have been really not very happy with some of the features they won't be including. In fact, you may have seen a picture circulating around detailing several features that the previous Battlefront, made practically 10 years ago, had that the modern Battlefront will not have, like space battles. They have said there will be no space battles, although you can see from the gameplay trailers that you will be able to get into ships on land and fight kind of like you had it in the original Battlefront, where you could get into ships and fly around on the normal courses. So they will have those. They will not have space battles as of yet. That could, of course, come as a DLC later, but we don't know yet. So at launch, they will not have space battles. They will also not have the entire Clone Wars era, which really changes the game dynamic for me, because I play as the Clone Wars just as much as I play as the Galactic Civil War era. So that's definitely something that is something to consider. I don't know if it's wholly a bad thing, because the prequel trilogy has come under fire from several fans of the original trilogy, because they introduced like so much new stuff and it detracted from the Star Wars experience everyone had. And since they're trying to go for the core Star Wars experience that everyone had when they first saw the Star Wars movies, that might be a strategic move for them to increase the immersiveness. But of course, that's not saying that they won't come out with a Clone Wars DLC later, but they have said nothing of the sort as of yet. And they will be coming out, they've revealed, with a Battle of Jakku DLC, which will have some of the features coming up in the new Star Wars, which is going to be very interesting. I'd like to see that some of the new maps, like Jakku, if you've seen the new Star Wars 7 trailer, the standee planet that looked like Tatooine at the beginning, that is Jakku. And if you've seen, there's a crashed Star Destroyer off in the distance, and many fans have been speculating that in the Battle of Jakku, you might actually get to see how that Star Destroyer got there in the first place. So that's going to be really cool to see some of the crossover of the new Star Wars movies and the new Star Wars Battlefront game. I'm really looking forward to see how they connect those, because DICE has been saying that they're really going to try hard to connect the two universes as much as they possibly can. For the class systems, they will not have a class system. If you notice, they had a very, very rigid class system in Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2. You could pick as, Vanguard, Sniper, and then a couple specialized classes. They will not have classes. Instead, they will have a very complex character customization system. So it sounds like you will be able to pick out your own weapons and almost create your own classes, which I think is actually better. I only played really as one class. I only used another class if I was either way ahead and just wanted to goof off, or I really needed to take out some tanks, and so I'd be a Vanguard. But with the customization, I might actually be able to pull from some of the things I liked. Like I might be able to have a rocket launcher and just a normal assault rifle, instead of having to use those cruddy little pistols that everyone really does not like using, or at least I don't like using. You'll also be able to customize your character, which for the Rebels you can do a lot with. You can choose different alien races, you can choose between male and female, you might even be able to change the outfit. I'm not sure about that, but they have been saying that you can do a lot of character customization for the heads and things like that. And you can add special features like jetpacks and things like that. If you've seen some of the gameplay, it looks pretty awesome with the jetpacks. And I mean, that would just be awesome. I mean, you can use a jetpack and still have an assault rifle. That's just gonna be great. So that's pretty much it. For the command post system, it does look like they have a command post system, although the spawning, I don't know if you spawn at the command post. Instead, I believe you spawn with a partner. They have a partner system, which I don't really quite get, but it's kind of like you have another person who's on your team who you can share weapons with and share power-ups with, and you can basically spawn on top of them. And if you played the Battlefield series, what I've heard is you have a squad, which is kind of what this is, except it's just one other person. So if you're playing with a buddy, then that's really cool, because then you can just like, hey, you got a cool assault rifle, sick machine gun, I'd like to use that, so you can just use that. So I believe that is about it for the features. So if you have not seen the two new gameplays, you really, 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 really need to go check them out right now. I will have links in the description and also annotations right now. Boom, boom, there they are. And at the beginning of the video. So if you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I sourced all of this information from my general knowledge from looking at EA's trailers and their webpage. So if this comes under copyright, I'm really sorry. I can include a more formal, but thanks to EA for all the information. I got pretty much all this, if not all of this, from the EA site. None of this is a rumor. This is all confirmed. So, alright. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day, and see you at the launch.